and welcome to Auto Shop. I'm Anika Elliott. Coming up on tonight's show, purchase agreements and deposits. If you change your mind, can you get your money back? We've also got signs to let you know if you may have been involved in a staged collision and what you should do. Plus, take a look at this. Oh, my. A sneak peek at this year's Toronto International Motorcycle Spring Show. You have to stick around to get more details on those gorgeous bikes. Of course, our experts are going to be here and talking and taking your buy and sell and mechanical questions. You can reach us at 416-872-2724. Well, March is Fraud Prevention Month, and even though we think often it won't happen to me, every year thousands of Canadians fall victim to this crime, including auto insurance fraud. I'm here as always with auto expert Mohammed Bouchama with Car Help Canada, and Sean Sportum is Vice Chair of Crime Stoppers, and he is joining us here today. Sean, Sportum, you got it. Indeed. Okay, so let's talk about this auto insurance fraud. We've been hearing quite a bit about it. It is becoming an increasing problem. Many levels to this. Explain what it is exactly.
Well, auto insurance fraud comes in many shapes and sizes, from padding legitimate claims for vehicle and personal injury to staged collisions. And when we talk about staged collisions, that's where we get into the public safety issue, because now there's people in the general public that are at harm's way because of it.
Of course. And so why is it a problem in Ontario? You know, tell us about that.
Well, that's for two reasons. Because really, I mean, the enforcement, we have laws to protect, but the enforcement is very weak. I mean, the government never took that, that aspect, the fraud seriously, in my opinion. Okay. Number two, when you're talking about the staged action, you need a lot of times that organized group.
Absolutely.
It's not one individual just, oh, I'm going to go and stage an accident. No, these are very sophisticated, organized group, criminals actually, who do this kind of things. And it's not easy to catch them. You really have to be, it takes a trained eye, or somebody really well qualified, to do it. Now that's one side. The other side that really, especially the last few years, when Sean talked about padding invoices, not only that padding invoices is, sending invoice for work was never done. Period. And I was told, and I read, there's a lot of therapists became suddenly instant millionaires, because of the fraud. And I was talking to my doctor, and he told me stories that I couldn't believe. It's just incredible. Now, I think with the new regulations, when the government, I think lowered the benefits, became harder, a little bit at least harder now for these people to take advantage of the system.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. And let's just skip ahead to sort of what should drivers do if they are involved in a collision,
Well, firstly, you should try and remain calm. It's going to be a stressful situation. Do your best to remain calm. If you can, move your cars off to the side of the road if it's safe to do so, if it's a minor collision. Make sure that everybody involved is safe. Try and get, the names of the driver and the passengers are in the car, and that's, fairly important, because what we find is that, all of a sudden there's passengers that weren't in the car that are saying they were in the car, and that's where, the staged collision part of it comes into play. And with Crime Stoppers, we've teamed up with State Farm and the Insurance Bureau of Canada to create awareness on this issue of auto insurance fraud. And what we want to do, and what will help law enforcement do their job, is people that report it and understanding and educating themselves. And if you are, you think you're a victim of a crime, if you don't want to talk to the police, there's always Crime Stoppers, and you can call 1-800-222-8477 and remain anonymous. And for more information on auto insurance crime, you can go to statefarm.ca/fraud, and it'll give you those things of what to look for that we spoke about, as well as other things related to auto insurance crime and what to do in order to be safe.
Situation, and the frequency of this is also affecting premiums.
Exactly.
Oh, there's no doubt. As I said, and actually insurance companies, the last few years, they blame mostly the increase on fraud. As I said, hopefully, part of it is with the new regulations, and I think the government, should seriously take, should consider, increasing the law enforcement personnel to tackle this, tackle this issue, because it needs, because you know what, you and I and Sean, everybody else, we're paying for it. You know, I mean, Ontario has the highest premiums, auto insurance premiums in the country, believe it or not, especially the GTA.
Right.
Especially the GTA.
And that's where this is targeted. And you're right, Mohammed. It is, you know, geared towards organized crime. You have collusion from tow truck drivers to physicians, and everyone's in it together, and they benefit from this.
Yeah.
So the more that
everybody.
exactly, and the more that we can do as a community to create awareness campaigns like this, the better we will be at preventing crime within the city of Toronto.
You know, I was interested in the staged collision situation. Can you take us through some of those steps quickly and the signs if you know how to know you're involved in one quickly?
Well, I mean, you have witnesses that just suddenly show up, you know, that weren't even in the car. They're just pedestrians, and they're assigning blame to somebody. Tow truck drivers that just show up. You haven't even called 911 or the police yet to say, hey, I've been into an accident, and all of a sudden they're showing up, and they have a recommended auto body shop that they want to bring you to.
Right.
Those are some of the key signs that, you know, you might be in something a little bit more than just, you know, an accident. You know, when you have the driver or their passengers that seem fine, and then as soon as the police show up, they're complaining of back pain and everything like that. You know, and those are the things that you should be looking for. And if you find yourself in a situation where, you know, you see these type of things, make sure that when the police do arrive, you pull them aside and express your concerns to them, so that they will have a knowledge of, you know, it might be a little bit something more than just an accident.
Yeah, there is no doubt. I mean, these people are very sophisticated. I mean, they know what they are doing. They know who to target, and they know which area to go to. So you know, I mean, drivers have to be very careful. They have to be aware of the surroundings. They have to, you know, it's very important. But I'm hoping, again, it's with the new regulation, when the government lowered the benefit, well, they cut them by half.
To crack down.
I mean, to crack down on fraud. Hopefully, we're going to see some results.
And it's great that you're teaming up with State Farm, as you mentioned, and RBC, and this is some good stuff in terms of awareness.
It is, and I mean, that's where we need to educate the public and make them aware of what's out there. And like Mohammed said, they target you. You know, they might follow you around for a day or two and then decide to, you know, do what they do. So if you can be aware, if you can be aware out there, and as I said, you know, if you go to statefarm.ca/fraud, you'll find a bunch of information there on things like staged collisions and whatnot.
All right. Well, Sean, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Really great information. But coming up, the Toronto International Motorcycle Spring Show is in town next weekend. What better way to kick it off than with a custom cruiser, sport bikes right here in our studio. We're going to be chatting a little bit more about the spring show coming up, so don't go anywhere.
To reach us within the GTA, you can dial 416-872-CP24. That's 416-872-2724. Or from outside the area, call us toll-free at 1-888-863-CP24. Or if you're on the internet, you can send your email to autoshop@cp24.com.